Hey, what's up everybody, it's Infinite here, and in this video, let's see what we're going to create today. Okay, and before starting, I just want you to know that this video is going to be like this, completely like raw. I won't cut down any part or I won't skip any part. I'll show you exactly the same steps what I did to get the results. Let's get started. See that you download the project files. The link is in the description, and once you download, you will see that you'll get this folder with all of these assets which I got from Pexels and Footage Crate, and some are made by me. So let's import this folder in After Effects. So select the folder, and to import any folder in After Effects, you just need to hit the Alt, just hold the Alt key and then click and drag and drop onto the project manager. Do not leave the Alt key, and that way you can import any folder in After Effects. If you do not hold the Alt key, then you'll get this error saying that this cannot be imported and stuff like that. So let's start off by this source footage. So click and drag on this little icon to create a new composition out of it. First of all, we'll add something here in the background. Let's add some mountains, and we'll see how to do it, and we'll also try to add some more details to the sky. And what we'll also do, we'll trim down the video down to somewhere around 7 seconds, because simply the render time will be more. So just come up to the 7-second mark, hit the N key, this thing will come here, right click, trim, come to work area. Okay, and also this footage has some movement, so we'll need to track the scene, and for this scene we do not require any 3D tracking, so we can do that. I mean, the 2D tracking can even work, so no need to worry about that. So what we'll do is we'll come up to the tracker panel, the window and the tracker window, and select track motion. And once you select track motion, you will see this track point onto the window. And if you need to maximize any window, just press the tilt key on the keyboard, so that way it will be much easier for you to work on. So what we'll do, we'll just select one point from here to track our scene. So for example, like this point, because this has like this black thing in the middle, so I think this should track properly. So I'll just scale this box down and the search area down like that. And once you have placed your tracking marker, just hit the analyze forward. So this will analyze, and I think the tracking should be fine. Yep, it's fine. And now you just need to export this tracking data. So you come up to the layer, create a new null object, and from here select edit target, and from here select the null one, select OK, and then just hit apply X and Y. Okay, so now our null object is holding our tracking data. Now what we'll do is we'll add in the mountain. So for that we'll use this footage. Where is it? So we'll be using this footage. So we'll basically just crop this part and we'll add it there. So we'll take this footage and we'll drag and drop right here, and currently it's too big, so hit Ctrl Alt F to scale it to the comp size. And now select the pen tool, and also just disable the audio if it has some audio. Select the pen tool and draw a mask around the horizon, so something like that, fit, and just parent this to the null one. Let's see what we have. Okay, so now you got it right. Why did we use a null object to track? As you can see, this layer is now tracked to a scene, and it's also going outside. I mean, for that you just need to scale up the footage. So hit S and scale up the footage a bit, and also hit F and feather out the mask a bit for somewhere around 25. Okay, and now what we'll do is we'll color match this footage to this one. Now how can we do that? For that we'll go to the effects and presets panel, and let's drag and drop the tritone effect. Now we'll be using this effect a lot, so remember the tritone effect, click and drag on this footage, and we'll also rename this footage to sky. Just press enter and rename it. And now what we'll do is, now from the highlight, select the what I always forget about the eyedropper tool, and highlight, pick the highlights from the scene, select the midtones, pick the midtones from the scene, select the shadows and select the darkest part of the video. I think it is like this shirt is dark, so we'll select this. You can see that this has basically like color matched the highlights, shadows and midtones to this scene, which is here. Now we'll just get this down so that it matches the horizon. We'll scale this up, something like that. And I'm having space issues today. And let's see what we have. We'll play once and we'll see what we have. Wait, is the horizon down? Yeah, I think we should get it down. Do not worry about that part. We'll fix the top part later. First, let's see what we have. Okay, not bad. We can definitely make it look much better than this. So we'll first off, let's select a mask and we'll pull it up, something like that. And what we'll also do is we'll also mask source from the horizon. I'll tell you why. So solo this, select the rectangle tool and mask it around here and get this point down, and now feather it out. Hit F and feather it out, and now unsolo the layer. You will see that this part is transparent. If you just enable the transparency switch, what we'll do is we'll just fill this part with a solid. So what we'll do is we'll right click, new, solid, and just select the color like from the water or from the mountain. I'll select from the mountain. I'll hit OK, and I'll just rename this to background gray, something like that, and I'll get it down below this source. So we have that part filled, and these two parts are basically like they are merged together now. And now to merge it even, to make this look even more better, what we can do is we can again right click, new, solid, parent this color from the water, select OK, and just rename this to haze. And now just hide this layer for now, select the rectangle tool and just draw a mask like in between both of these layers, and now enable it and just hit F and feather it out. You just have like this haze kind of a layer, and do not forget to parent this to the null one. Even the gray, just parent it to the null one. You can definitely add more mountains, but I'm just going to keep it the way it is. And let's see what we have. Let's do a comparison. So here is the before and here is the after. And okay, we'll fix the top part. To fix that, just go to the sky layer, search for the effect motion tile, drag and drop on the sky layer, select mirror edges and increase the output height to somewhere around 135. It basically mirrors the top part, so you get it right. So before, after, before, after. And also I have this idea of a very hazy like look. If you have seen the movie, which movie is it, Blade Runner, you will see that it's like a very hazy environment. So I have that idea, so I'm going for that look. So that's why everything is so faded. And okay, the next thing we'll do is we'll add in the UFO right here.
We do not care.
Okay, so we'll select the one.mov and we'll get it down here, and we'll just scale this down. See that you hold the shift key while scaling it down, and we'll place it here, somewhere around here, and let's see what we have. Okay, so definitely this doesn't look light, and we'll need to blend in with the background, with the environment. So how can we do that? And before proceeding, just see that you save the project file. Okay, So as I said, we'll be using tritone effect a lot, so I'll drag and drop tritone again and just parent the shadow, highlights and midtones from a scene. So the highlights, I'll parent this from the sky, the midtones I'll take it from the mountain, and the shadows I'll take it from her shirt. You see how much the difference that this effect makes. Here the before and here the after. Okay, but still it doesn't look blended with the sky. I need a very hazy look. So how can we achieve that? What we'll do is we'll take the sky layer, we'll duplicate it, and this first of all let's rename this to UFO, and we'll take the sky layer and we'll get it on top of the UFO, the duplicated one. Just hit Ctrl D to duplicate the layer, and we'll rename this to clouds. So what, and just hit M and delete the mask from the sky. So what this cloud layer is for, this will basically like add in, we'll just mask out the part of the clouds and we'll add it in front of the UFO since this layer is on top of the UFO. So just scale this layer a bit and move this down and just hide it for now. And now select the pen tool, see that the clouds layer is selected, and I'll just draw the mask around the UFO somewhat like that. This is my first mask, this is my second mask, and my third mask I'll draw it something like that, just a very rough mask. And now enable it, you'll see that you'll have something like this. Now just hit F and now feather each of the mask until the UFO is visible, like kind of. For example, you can easily control with the mask, and let's see what we have. Okay, so now see, the look totally depends on what you like. I like this really hazy faded look, so I've kept the UFO like hidden. It's like secret kind of thing. I mean, how can I say? I'm just trying my best to explain. But if you want the UFO to be visible, you can hit T and decrease the opacity of the clouds, or you can just keep it up to 100. I'm going to keep it 100. So okay, the next thing what we'll do now is we'll add in the, we'll add in that ship here. So we'll select the, where is it, this footage, the blue sky vibrant one. We'll drag and drop onto new composition and let's extract this ship out. And the easiest way to do this is just get the, search for the effect extract, drag and drop, and just mask. Okay, first of all you'll see that the ship is moving. We do not want the ship to move, ship or boat, whatever you call. We'll right click, time, freeze frame. So now this is basically a still picture. So select the pen tool and draw a rough mask around the ship or boat, whatever you call it. Okay, and now just extract the white part from the scene since our ship is dark. So select these two dot or squares and get it until the sky is extracted from a scene, and just feather out a bit. So just select this dot which is down and get it here, not much, just a bit, something like that. I mean, the ship will be like in the distance, so all of these kind of like, these won't be visible, so do not worry, do not pay attention to the fine details here, and just feather out the mask a bit. And also we'll trim down the composition to the size to the ship. So just select this tool right here, region of interest, and draw a rectangle around the ship, and now come up to composition, crop comp to region of interest, like something like that. And now we'll pre-comp these layers, right click, pre-compose, and rename this to ship or boat, whatever you like, and we'll move all the attributes. Okay, we'll go back to our source and we'll see where our ship or boat this thing is. We'll drag and drop it here. Where we'll place it? We'll place it somewhere around here, and we'll also flip the ship so that it's facing towards the left. We'll right click, transform, flip horizontal, and we'll scale this down. Let's see. Yeah, okay. If you need to remove this thing, you can go back to the ship or the boat sequence and you can extract even more and feather it out a bit and go back to the source. And now we'll color match the ship again, ship or both. Why am I saying this again and again? Search for the tritone effect again, drag and drop, and now we'll parent the highlights to the sky, the midtones to the mountains, and the shadows to I think we'll parent the shadows to this, like these. We'll make it even more dark, so yeah, something like that. And I think it looks good, and there's still some sharp. The shape is too sharp, so we'll search for a fast box blur effect, drag and drop onto the ship and boat, and we'll increase the radius to somewhere around 0.5. 0.5 is too much. 0.2. Let's see what we have. Okay, so this is what we have currently. Now let's see how we can improve this. First off, we'll give the ship a slow movement towards the, like from here to here. So we'll basically we'll add some keyframes. And I've also noticed that the contrast here is a lot more than our background, so we'll decrease the contrast of our scene. So let's proceed. And also I forgot to parent our ship layer to the null, so select the pick whip tool and parent it to the, where is it, null. By the way, if you cannot see this tab, just press the F4 button, and in that way this tab will be visible, or just right click columns and select parent and link. So let's decrease the contrast of the foreground so that it matches the background, because I want a faded look. So I'll go back to the source, this one, and let's search for curves.
Yeah, boy.
Drag and drop and just push this thing up, this point up, and get this down. Push it up even more until it matches with the background. Here is the before, here is the after. I think it looks pretty good. We'll add in a tree. Where is that tree? Tree. Where are you? Okay, so this one. So drag and drop onto a new composition. And again, we'll do the same thing. We'll search for the extract effect. Not extract. Drag and drop. And now, again, you need to extract the white part. So push this thing until it's gone. And just feather it out a bit. And if you want to see it better, then just enable the transparency grid right here. Some parts of our trees have also been extracted, so I'll get some part back by pushing it here. And for this part we'll just mask out. So draw a mask and draw a rough mask around the tree, something like that. And we'll do the same thing again. Select the region of interest tool, draw a rectangle around the tree, and now go up to composition, crop comp to region of interest, and pre-comp this. So right click, pre-compose, let's rename this to tree. Move all the attributes, select OK. We'll go back to our source and we'll select our tree. Where are you? Tree, right here. Drag and drop above everything, even above the haze layer. We'll scale this down. See that you hold the shift key, and for the tree we'll place it somewhere around here. And again, as I told you before, let's search for the tritone effect, and this time we'll sample the highlights from the sky. The midtones, let's sample it from the water because it's like close to this part of the footage, so somewhere around here. And the shadows, let's take it from a jacket. Okay, and do not forget to parent this to the null one. Now this tree is like an infinite to compute, but obviously there will be some contact shadows, so what we can do is we can create a solid to do that. But before that, this tree is, it's a still image, so there'll be zero movement. Let me show you a quick trick, like a quick tip to add some movement. So come up here and select the puppet pin tool and just add a pin right at the bottom. This will take some time, do not worry. Go drink water till then. How many times do I have to tell you that you need to be hydrated? Okay, so if this is taking time, then what you can do is just delete the tritone effect and pre-comp it again. We'll add the tritone effect later. So delete the tritone effect, pre-compose it, and now it will be a lot more fast. I don't know, it's like a bug or a glitch, something like that. So once you have created one point, see that you select the effect and let's create 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, and I think this should do. Now what this, and see that you're in the beginning of the timeline. Okay, now what this does is if you solo this layer and enable the transparency switch, now go to the end of the timeline and just move these points like towards the right. Do not move this point, otherwise that the layer will be visible. So just move these branches like a little bit and let's see what we have. So you'll see that you just have like this slight movement of the branches. It's very subtle. Obviously you can add more points and you can enhance it, but just for the tutorial and just for the time's sake, you get the idea, right? So you can add more points and you can move them down. Do not move these points, these are because these points are acting like locks, so just move these points. Okay, so I'll just keep it the way it is and I'll add in a tritone effect now, and again I'll do the same thing, parent the highlights to the sky, midtones to the mountains, and the shadows to we'll fix the bottom part of the tree later, okay, because it doesn't have any shadow and this looks completely fake. For now what we'll do is we'll select this, where is it, the smoke, and we'll drag and drop. Now you'll see that it's black, and do not change the blending mode to screen because this will brighten the scene up, which we don't want. Instead just search for a unmult effect. After Effects has a preset already, so not unimult, unmult. This one, alpha from lightness unmult, drag and drop, so you have the black part extracted out. Now just scale this up and move it here, scale it even more and move it here, so that you have like another layer of like haze kind of in front. I'll move this down a bit. Now what we'll do is we'll just overlay some of these storm, where is it, these storm overlay clouds. So we'll select, see that you move it below, like on top of the source, change the blending mode to screen this time, and just solo, because like if you solo, your workflow or like automatically becomes faster. Instead of just waiting for everything to render, just solo and place your assets. So hit Ctrl D to duplicate the layer, move it here, and again just solo. I'll just solo, I'll move it here, I'll rotate it, I'll scale it up, get it here. I'll hit Ctrl D again, this time move this here, this time I'll get this sky layer here, hit W, I rotate it. I'll just make it random. You can even retime, so just hold the Alt key, just move the layer, so in this way it will be faster or slower. I'll move this here, I rotate it, hit W and rotate. Let's see what we have. Okay, so this is what we have. I think there is an error because the tree is just not tracked to a scene. I think it is because of the puppet. No, it is not parented to the null. So we'll parent this to the null. Where are you? And we'll see if this is tracked. Do not worry about the layer cutting on the edge. We'll fix that later. Okay, and I think the smoke is looking weird because I think it's too white. So what we'll do is we'll color correct it. So we'll add in a tritone effect to our smoke. So search for tritone. What am I typing? Tritone, drag and drop onto the smoke layer. Delete this one. Parent the highlight from the sky. Parent the midtone from the water, and we'll parent the shadows from shit. Yeah, now it's better. Here was the before, here's the after. Okay, and even I think the tree is way too sharp. So what we'll do is we'll blur it a bit. So search for the fast box blur, drag and drop onto the tree layer, and we'll get the value to somewhere around 0.2 so that it's not too sharp. Now what we'll do is we'll color correct the whole scene. So we'll pre-comp everything. So hit Ctrl A, right click, pre-compose. Let's rename this to main, and now let's create a new adjustment layer. Right click, new adjustment layer. Let's rename this to curves. Just press the enter key to rename the layer. Let's search for curves, drag and drop the curves effect, and we'll just introduce some contrast to our scene. So we'll get this point up and we'll make a S curve. I think this ship is looking weird because it's drawing, it's at like my eye is only focusing towards the ship because it's too dark. So what we'll do is let's create a new solid layer, new solid, parent the color from the mountain, select OK, see that it's above everything, and hide it for now. We'll select the ellipse tool and we'll create an ellipse right here. And now enable the layer and hit F and feather this solid so that you have like a hazy environment there as well. And I will go back to our source. By the way, if you need to go back to the comp, you just press the tab key and you'll get this mini flow chart, and from here you can go back to the main. I think this is better. And I think we even forgot to move the ship from, we were supposed to give it an animation, right? So we'll go to the ship and boat, we'll solo it for now, hit P and select on this, we'll create a keyframe, select on the stopwatch, go ahead to somewhere around 10 seconds and we'll move it here. Now basically to give it like a look, like color grade it, I always use a lot because I'm not that good in color grading, I'll be honest with you, and I always use the magic bullet looks to give it a final grade. So this is a plugin by Red Giant and it's an amazing plugin. If you do not have it, then no worries, you can use any kind of LUT or you can even grade it using curve. If you have it, then you can select any look that you like. Let me see which one I like. Yeah, I like this tint. I just love this look, like the steel kind of tint. I'll just decrease the strength a bit, and what I'll do is let's add the aspect ratio or bar or letterbox, whatever you like to call it. Right click, new solid, make it black, and let's rename this to the effect that we'll add, CC Jaws, and search for the effect CC Jaws, drag and drop. If you want the correct value for the 16:9 ratio aspect ratio is 75.8 in this effect, and just get the height down to 0. And if you want to adjust, you can always move the main layer up or down, and I'm also going to scale this layer a bit, something like that. So let's see what we have. I think now the tree layer looks weird to me. I think it's way too blurred out. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our main layer, and sorry for the inconvenience caused. We'll just delete the past box blur. And also, if you want to know how I added that, like from out of focus to focus, like that effect, that rag focus effect, so for that just right click new solid, sorry not a solid, right click new adjustment layer, and add in the camera lens blur effect, camera lens blur, and now change this to anything like none. Increase the gain of the highlight and get the threshold down so that you have like this highlight. It's a stylized look, whatever you like. In the beginning, I'll get the radius up and see that you hit repeat edge pixels and move it below the CC jaws effect. Let's keep the blur length to 8, and once we'll move ahead to 2 seconds and we'll get this down. Threshold, let's decrease the threshold so that it's bright, and hit U, select both of the keyframes and hit the F9 key to easy step. And let's see what we have. And also one more thing before we end this, there'll be a particle layer. Where is it? The particle layer. So what I did was I added this in the beginning. I changed the blending mode to screen so that I had some particles, and add this effect, add the fast box blur effect to the particle layer. In the beginning, let the radius be 0 and go to the point of your keyframe of the blur, camera lens blur of the adjustment layer, and now just increase the radius. So what happens is, like in the beginning the particle is in focus, and later the particle goes out of focus, and this our scene is in focus. And also do not forget to keyframe the gain even. So in the beginning let that gain be 100, and later we'll get this back to 0. Okay, hit U and even easy exit, so select both and hit F9 to easy exit. It looks decent enough, and so basically it's just about masking and overlaying this stuff, color matching, doing this, and you get the idea, right? And also before ending things off, what I would like to do is I'll just create another solid. So right click new solid, and I'll make it like this gray kind of. I'll hide this for now, and I'll select the rectangle tool, and I'll mask around the bottom part. Let's enable this. I'll hit F and I'll feather this out, and I'll change the blend so you have like this haze kind of look. Again, I'll feather it out even more. Let's see what we have. So we have like this another layer of haze, and you can just keep on experimenting stuff here. Hope you guys, and I said in the before that this will be like a very raw kind of a tutorial, so I'll just show you the process without skipping any steps, so that's why it's lengthy. Hope you understand. So hope you guys learned something new from it, and if you did, then consider subscribing. If you didn't like it, then still subscribe.
Are you stupid or something?
I mean, I don't mind. I'm just kidding. I'm Infinite, and I'll see you next time.